A computer virus is a program that can replicate itself and spread from one computer to another. There's two types of viruses in computers. Watch this. The first one, number one, says non-resident. Non-resident virus. They immediately search for other hosts. You see hosts on that? That can be infected, infect those targets, and finally transfer control to the application program they infected. That's replication. The second one is resident viruses. They do not search for a host when they are started. Instead, a resident virus loads itself into memory. Resident viruses are the ones that are close to you, that you're not going to pick up any type of sense that there's something going on, because you would think they're never there to hurt you, because I'm living in close proximity with it. There's a trust factor involved. And because there's a trust factor involved, I don't have to worry about being hurt by someone close to me. It should be already known that they're not going to hurt me. Say hello, church.
Hello, church.
Hello, church.
Hello, church.
The host was Ahab. The host was Ahab. He was in position of authority, but what he did is he gave up that authority and shifted it to his wife and got out of alignment that quick. Antivirus programs search and destroy every kind of virus that is what? Detected. You understand? I don't know about y'all. Y'all have computers and stuff. You can put an antivirus in there. A lot of these antiviruses release viruses that are only going to take care of the viruses. It released itself, but it ain't going to deal with the other ones that you originally went out to get. You got to get the right antivirus. Each file, each person here can do a certain thing for God. So what this host does, I'm talking about a church now, this spirit attaches to the church, and then the church all of a sudden picks up a DNA that is not of God and begins to operate in a viral, infectious disease, and it starts to infect the files that are in the church, which are the people of God, the tools of God, which are to build the kingdom of God. And what happens? You come into a service and you are all hyped and excited for it, but then you're sitting there in church and all of a sudden, I just don't feel good anymore. I feel oppressed. I feel like I just can't face my problems anymore. I can't even make it out of where I'm at. I feel like I'm never going to get past this one issue that I've dealt with for 10, 15 years. The lies come in. The lies come in. And it feels like your spirit's being murdered. Because you're no longer alive. You start walking around thinking that you're never going to get out of where you're at. And that's in a church. Isn't that crazy? In a church. When we make bad hookups, we're making an alliance with something that is not pure. And it's not what God intended for us. We come out of a ministry and go into another ministry, but we left this ministry jacked up, tore up, and offended. We come into this ministry that God has been blessing, then all of a sudden, your mess that you bring with it that you never wanted to deal with because you didn't want to go have confrontation with anybody, you left, but you brought it into another ministry, and now the pastors and the ministries have to deal with that spirit. But yet, you are anointed of God. You are anointed of God. And you begin to pray in the Spirit. You become an intercessor. You become a minister. You become an elder. You become a deacon. You become a minister that is doing things for the kingdom. And you're looking great. You got power. You got so much power. You start to get noticed. And then what happens? The pastor, that's who we need. That's who we need. Get over here. Get up. We need you. We've been praying you in. Then they come in. That's when the Spirit begins to show itself. The individual didn't know it. The individual did not know it. The Spirit then begins to manifest. And what happens with the shepherd, they hit, they hurt, they wound the flesh, and they don't deal with the Spirit. So there goes the next person. Person just left that relationship in that other ministry, is now in this one, wanting to really help, wanting to really do, but so wounded, goes to another ministry because they're looking for help. Really, they are. Now they picked up that DNA, the DNA of this church, now that wounds. Because the first one, it was an emotional blow. This one was a physical blow. They go to the next church. Now, it already left the seeds of that spirit in that church, and now the next church. As it goes in, it begins to release and reproduce and reproduce. What was taking place in that individual is now taking place in another individual, in another ministry, in another position. What is it doing? It's infecting the files. And that virus is going forth and breaking things down and not making it healthy. Understand? Many times the spirit, the virus attaches to a host, which is a believer, to attack the program, which is the word, and to make it not work properly, it's infected. This is how you know things ain't working. Watch this. I made it very simple. I think I did. Maybe simple for me. Hopefully it's simple. Many times the spirit, which is the virus, comes to attach to the host, which we're the believers. It attacks the program. What is the program? The word. It attacks the word so that it doesn't work properly. Do you understand? This is how it is in real life. You're going to get up in the morning, take your communion. You're going to get up in the morning, do your time with God. Father, I know I'm not perfect. The Bible tells you that you are perfect. Lord, I know I'm a sinner. The Bible tells you you're not a sinner. You've been made whole. Lord, in my sickness, I pray that you will. He already said that he did. Do you see how it's infected? Why? It didn't happen through a resident. It happened through a non-resident. You were sitting in a church. Pastor's teaching you. Reason why you're sick is you got unforgiveness. Reason why you ain't getting healed, you got sin in your life. Non-resident speaking to you affects your memory. That memory is where your word comes in and how it's stored. Here comes the distortion. So now in your prayer life is where you get the powers in your prayer life. You begin to pray amiss. What did Jesus do with the disciples? Lord, teach us how to pray. Well, yeah, because you've been praying amiss. If you understand the Our Father prayer, it's thanks for everything before you even get it. Amen. It's thanks because it's already given. You just haven't seen it manifest yet. Everything is spirit manifests into flesh. It's up in the spirit first. We have had viruses come across pulpits, television, radio, come across. And we receive it because it sounded good. There's a lot of articulate preachers out there. They can preach and make it sound so good. And the only thing they talked about all day long was how to tie a bow tie. And you thought because it sounded so good, and then, well, I felt the anointing. No, you didn't. You had goosebumps. That's all you had. And a made you feel good kind of message, but you don't understand the validity of the word. If you only listen to what I'm saying here and you're not applying it, and you're not searching it out for yourself, hey, I'm a person, I make mistakes. Search the word out, because the word will not lie to you. It will not. It'll teach you.